NFL Week 2 is in the book, so on today's episode of 4 Verts, I go through every single game, every single team, and react in 10 minutes or less, at least one thought on every team in the National Football League. So here we go. Be sure to subscribe. Let's get 15 subscribers on today's show. Got 13 last week when we did this. Let's go. All right, we start last night, Monday Night Football. I did a post-game show, collapsed by Philly. What a comeback by Kirk Cousins and the boys. Got to be honest, when I think about the Eagles in this one, Nick Sirianni, Saquon Barkley. What does Sirianni do in these games? You got to override Kellen Moore in that situation. Hand the ball off. Your offensive line's been getting pushed all night. Even if you don't get it, it's 4th and short. You make a decision to either go for it or you kick it, and at least you've run 40 extra seconds off the clock. Make Kirk Cousins go the length of the field in less than a minute. For Atlanta, one drive changes everything. They get the ball back after Saquon drops the ball. Kirk Cousins finds a couple of chunk plays to Darnell Mooney, hits Drake London for the touchdown. What a win for the Atlanta Falcons. Chiefs 26, Bengals 25. On a day where Patrick Mahomes struggled for a good amount of the game, they still find a way. Isaiah Pacheco going to miss several weeks with a fibula injury. They leaned on him in this one, so they'll have to find some solutions there moving forward at running back. Potential reunion with Kareem Hunt, very interesting. But to win that game with a C-plus offensive performance, you got to feel pretty good if you're Kansas City. For Cincinnati, they get up for this game. I was impressed with how they played. Got to keep their cool a little bit, especially Jamar Chase. You got to keep that effort week in and week out. You're 0-2 now, dug yourself a little bit of a hole. Luckily, AFC North doesn't look as good this year. If they play like that, they'll be in a good position. Texans 19, Bears 13. Houston looks like a team ready to challenge Kansas City in the AFC. If I had to pick one team right now that can challenge the Chiefs and potentially win the AFC, I would go with Houston. They have a top 5 quarterback in C.J. Stroud. DeMeco Ryans has that defense hitting. The Danielle Hunter effect is real on that defensive line. Will Anderson's taking a jump. And they got a 3-headed monster at receiver led by Nico Collins. Like what Houston's doing. For the Bears, defense is ready. It's playoff level. Can the offense catch up? Caleb Williams under siege all day. Offensive line, Shane Waldron, got to find some solutions. Bills 31, Dolphins 10. Story of this one, Tua leaves the game with another concussion. He's reportedly not going to retire. However, it's unclear how long he'll be out. Miami signed Tyler Huntley off of the Ravens practice squad. Looks like Skylar Thompson for now, but maybe he's an option next week and moving forward. We'll see when Tua returns. Our thoughts are with him. Buffalo, still the team to beat in the AFC East. They could run away with this division. Saints 44, Cowboys 19. The Klint Kubiak effect. This offense in New Orleans, it's like they're playing a different sport this year with what they're doing. Play action, pre-snap motion. Alvin Kamara looks as good as ever. Kubiak may be a head coach next year, so New Orleans, take advantage this year. Might be the team to beat in the NFC South. Dallas, Mike Zimmer got pantsed. That defense needs to be better. Really poor performance in the home opener. Vikings 23, 49ers 17. In a week full of upsets, this was certainly one of them. And Sam Darnold, I said it yesterday, might be the next Baker, might be the next Geno Smith, where all of a sudden he finds himself in a good situation, might get a big payday this offseason. But in the short term, Vikings look formidable in the NFC North, maybe the toughest division in the NFL right now. He looks reborn. 49ers, blitz-flustered Purdy. He went up to Brian Flores after the game and said the scheme is crazy. Could be in a little trouble too. Deebo Samuel now going to miss a couple of weeks with a calf. We already know Christian McCaffrey's on IR. Keep an eye on San Francisco. Raiders 26, Ravens 23, probably the upset of the week. Las Vegas down 10 in the fourth quarter, find a way to rally with 13 straight points. Character win for Antonio Pierce, Gardner Minshew making just enough plays. Big day for Devontae Adams. Ravens, 0-2 start, that's big trouble. Again, AFC North looks more manageable this year, so it's not panic time yet, but the offensive line is struggling, and they miss Mike McDonald coaching that defense. Buccaneers 20, Lions 16. Baker Mayfield resurgence is real. He had a great year last year. Through 2 weeks, he looks great this year. He clearly outplayed Jared Goff, who threw a couple of really ugly interceptions. Dan Campbell's almost crying in the postgame saying, I cost us this game. Detroit's going to be fine. Let's pump the brakes on the emotions there, Dan. It's week 2. But the issue with Jared Goff is if you can pressure him and get him off his spots, he's not very mobile. So they could be matchup dependent in the playoffs. I like Detroit, but Tampa's impressing me. Packers 16, Colts 10. Matt LaFleur coaching masterclass. Malik Willis has been there for 3 weeks. No Jordan Love. He outplays Anthony Richardson. Matt LaFleur is a hell of a coach. For Indianapolis, Richardson looks like a train wreck. Can't hit the broadside of a barn if you were 5 feet away. Going up against the Bears defense next week, facing 0-3 potentially. That's trouble there. For Green Bay, what a game. They just ran the ball down Indianapolis' throats. Not sure what Gus Bradley's doing defensively, but Packers get a much-needed win to improve to 1-1. Jets 24, Titans 17. Big win for Aaron Rodgers in New York. Thought he played slightly better, tossed a couple of touchdowns. Can't move, clearly, coming off the Achilles, so he's going to have to learn to be strictly a pocket guy at this point in his career. For Tennessee, might be time to bench Will Levis. It's one thing in week 1 to have a tragic turnover like he did against the Bears where he's just flipping the ball out. Basically did it again through a lateral that skipped to his running back, and the Jets recovered, cost him the game. You're right there with the chance to win. Can't have that play. Will Levis might be benched, just like Bryce Young was. Commanders 21, Giants 18. 0 punts, 7 field goals for Washington. Interesting special teams day. I thought Jaden Daniels played pretty well, probably the best rookie QB performance up to this point, granted against the Giants defense, which hasn't been very good. If they can get better in the red zone, maybe they're a little better than we think. Giants, probably even worse than we thought. Brian Dable, Joe Shane, hot seat city. It is trouble in New York. Can't imagine John Mara is very happy. Seahawks 23, Patriots 20. Geno Smith coming up big late. He looks comfortable in Ryan Grubb's offense. All 3 receivers getting involved. Jackson Smith and Jigba cooking in year 2. Love to see that. And the defense is pretty damn good under Mike McDonald. Patriots, give Gerard Mayo credit. They're a scrappy bunch. I don't think they're going to win 7-8 games, but they're not the worst team in the NFL like a lot of people thought they would be. Clearly better than the Carolinas and I think the Giantses of the world. We'll see how competitive they are over the course of the season. I'm eager to see if they turn to Drake May at some point. Browns 18, Jags 13. Kind of a dud of a game, but Cleveland gets a much-needed win, leaning on their defense. Give Deshaun Watson credit, played a little bit better, made a few plays with his feet, a few plays with his arm. Certainly something to build on if you're Cleveland. For the Jags, Doug Peterson, hot seat. I think he's in trouble. Schedule's getting tough here. Trevor Lawrence not playing better. You just paid T. Law. If it doesn't go well this year, it's not going to be him who's out. It's going to be Doug Peterson. He's got to get this fixed quickly or he's going to be out. Steelers 13, Broncos 6. Has Justin Fields shown enough to remain the starter if Russell Wilson gets healthy? Unclear where he's at with his calf right now. I would say yes, even though he hasn't played great. He's kind of just been a game manager. He's had several big throws called back due to penalties, so I think he's actually played fairly well. If he's not turning the ball over, leaning on that defense, they can win some games. Bo Nix, really struggling. Looks like the worst rookie quarterback playing right now by far between himself, Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels. Sean Payton, got to simplify things for him. We'll see if he can improve throughout the season. Chargers 26, Panthers 3. Bryce Young benched. Is it over for him in Carolina? Certainly feels like it is. Sounds like David Tepper was involved in the decision. Just chaotic situation there. When the owner is getting involved 2 weeks in, not a good sign. Jim Harbaugh ball in full effect. Run, run, run. Defense, defense, defense. Offensive line, offensive line. Justin Herbert, make plays when you need to. Quentin Johnston, 2 touchdowns receiving. J.K. Dobbins looks like a stud. Chargers look like a playoff team through 2 weeks. Cardinals 41, Rams 10. Cooper Kupp, add him to the injury list. Sounds like a high ankle sprain, probably going on IR. They've got about 20 guys out. Rams in big trouble at 0-2. Too many key guys injured. Cardinals, maybe the best game of Kyler Murray's career. He was fantastic. Marvin Harrison Jr., big day, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pretty much all that damage done in the first quarter. So there you have it. Week 2 in the books. Reaction in 10 minutes or less with a little time to spare here. Some final thoughts. Scoring down in the NFL despite touchbacks starting at the 30 now. I think you can attest that to just not doing nearly as much as you used to in training camp and in the preseason. Seems like the defenses have the early advantage. We'll see if that evens out throughout the course of the season. Several notable teams 0-2. Baltimore, the Rams, Cincinnati. You fall to 0-3, your chances of making the playoffs historically really plummet. Big games for those teams coming up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We will have you covered with NFL and college football content every week. And if you enjoy these rapid reaction shows, let us know in the comments section by typing Y for yes. Or if you don't, you can go ahead and type in for no. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon.